Well, hello, hello. This is Rose RCG Creations. How are you doing? I'm bringing you today a pumpkin bread recipe using my leftovers from the holidays. This is January 1. We're off today and we ended up going to the grocery store, but I'm going to get right into the recipe. And I'm going to give you the ingredients, and I will put in the description box like usual the ingredients plus the recipe itself and the directions. It asks for, let me get my readers back on. And sorry, well, I thought it was taping and recording because it was on, but apparently I never hit the record button. Luckily I looked before it got too far. Okay, so it calls for 2/3 cup shortening, 2 2/3 cups sugar, 4 eggs, 1 can pumpkin, 2/3 cup water, 3 1/3 cups all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons baking soda, 1 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon ground cloves. Optional. 2/3 cup coarse chopped nuts. I love nuts, but hubby does not, so we're not putting nuts in there. 2/3 cup raisins. Hubby loves raisins. I love raisins by themselves, but I don't like them mixed in a baking cookie or bread or anything like that. We're going to turn the oven's already on to 350, so it's already preheating. You're going to grease the bottoms of your 2 loaf pans, and we're going to get back to doing it. And I apologize because I really thought I was already recording. I didn't know to pay attention to my record button on the camera, but I already started doing this. You mix the flour and the sugar together until it's all pretty well incorporated. You can use your hands, but you don't have to. So, because I thought I was already recording, I'm pretty much already done with this. Okay, so you just want to make sure that all the shortening and the sugar are mixed up together, and don't forget, go to the bottom center of the bowl. Make sure you're getting all that goodiness in there. Okay, so I thought I was already done with it. So let's get back to the directions. I've never made pumpkin bread from scratch. I always buy the pre-made one, so this is a new one for me. Okay, so where you mix the shortening and the sugar in a large bowl, which I've done that. Next thing, we're going to add the eggs, and that calls for 4 eggs. And I've already whisked these. As you can see, they're already whisked together. And I didn't whisk them, I just used my fork. Okay, so let me get all the goodiness on that. Alrighty. Now it says add the eggs, the pumpkin, and the water. So here's my pumpkin, and I had frozen this pumpkin into silicone molds because I wasn't too sure what I was going to do or how much I was going to need. And I've already pre-measured this, so I already know it's 16 ounces. And it's really runny because I had froze it. Oh, this smells so good. I wish we had smell-o-vision. You could really smell the pumpkin. And this was just left over from some pumpkin pies that we had. My hubby makes pumpkin pies, and he was asked to make pumpkin pies for some of the gatherings. So this is the leftover. And luckily it was enough to make this bread. I go, you know, I said I'm going to freeze it just to be on the safe side. But I was thinking of making some pumpkin donuts, but a little too much for me right now tonight. This is a lot easier. Okay, so we're going to add the eggs, the pumpkin, and the water. And I already pre-measured my water, 2/3 cup. Okay, blend in the flour. I'm going to mix this just a little bit. I was taught by my mom. I actually wasn't taught by my mom. I just watched her do it. She showed my 2 sisters how to cook, and because I've been a messy cooker person in the kitchen. I've always been asked not to participate. But I participate by cleaning the dishes, so that was always my chore growing up. But I remember she always said you do everything in phases, because that way everything in phases, like your dries and your liquids and your spices, you mix it all up and they get mixed pretty well, versus putting it all together, especially when you're doing a hand mixing job. Okay, so I'm mixing this up, and it's pretty well mixed, and I'm getting down to the bottom of the bowl. I'm making sure it's all in there. Now we're going to add and blend in the flour. And me turn this over, and I got a bowl with this lip to it. Okay, sorry, but this is heavy. I've got wrist issues, and stuff like this is heavy for me. Okay, so now I'm going to, it says blend in the flour, baking soda, which I already mixed the flour, the baking soda, the cinnamon, the cloves, the salt. I've already pre-mixed all that before when I mixed it in the bowl, so I know it's pretty well incorporated. Now I'm just going to get all this mixed together. Okay. And then it just says mix it. It doesn't say blend it. It doesn't say use a mixer, because I've seen a bunch of recipes. You can do this by hand, or if you want to, feel free to use your electric mixer. But I'm going to do this by hand, because I'm trying to teach myself to do things the old-fashioned way. So if we were to have some power outages, I can still make something and know how to do it by hand, because I don't have the electricity. I mean, it is winter, and you never know when the power is going to go out. I mean, you still have to eat, so there's no reason why you can't have a dessert. So for recipes that don't call for a mixer, I'm going to learn, and this is why I purchased this, I think it's called Danish dough hook, to make it easier to blend and mix. And you want to continue mixing until all the flour and everything is mixed up together. And I will tell you, personally, because of my wrist issues, I wish I had an electric mixer. I was using I have the electric mixer, I just chose not to use it, because this is a little painful. But I need to learn how to do things from scratch, by hand, with a manual machine, no electric, just so I know how to do it. Now I'm going to try to scrape. Well, and make sure you don't go too far over, because you're going to spill, and then you'll have a big mess. Ask me how I know that. And get all the dough and all the flour from the inside. See, I just turned it, and there was some flour that didn't get mixed up. Turn the bowl around, and do your other one. Okay, and turn it around again. Man, this smells so good. So we'll be able to, we're giving one of these pumpkin breads to our company that we have coming over, so they can take it home. And then we're going to have the other one as a dessert. Hubby's making tacos, so we're going to have this as a dessert for afterwards. Okay, so I think this is pretty well mixed, because there's no more flour. So I think it's all done. Let me just scrape the rest of this dough, because I'm going to use my, I have a scraper. I think they call it a bench scraper, I think is what you call it. I think. I'm not for sure. Don't quote me on that, because I really don't know. But if I remember, I'll go ahead and put it in the pop-up box. A picture of this dough hook with what it's called. And then my little scraper. So, let me just get all my dirty dishes out of the way. Let me get my little towel, because I don't like to have food particles on the bottom of my containers that are going to go in the oven. That's just me. It doesn't mean anything. That's just the way I am. My OCD kicks in, and it's like, ooh. So here's my little pans. The bottoms are greased like it says. And I got an itchy nose. I'm going to stand up, because I don't want to spill any of this in here. And let me get my scraper, because I do want to scrape all the dudiness in there. Because this is a big bowl, I definitely don't want to spill anything. So I'm going to pour about half of it in here, in this batch. And then let me move this over. And pour the rest of it. Okay, you can kind of sort of see me. Let me move back. Okay, there you go. You can see me now. I'm in frame. Okay. This one needs a little bit more. Okay, so stop dribbling. I think it did. And I like this because it's, half a circle, so it scrapes your entire bowl. See that? See how that scrapes that over? So you get all your goodiness inside your container that you're going to cook it in. And how can get, for being a newbie on this stuff, to me, as far as I'm concerned, that's a pretty good, because that's a win-win of getting pretty much all the goodiness. Man, this smells so good. And let me just scrape this part of the bowl, this part over here on this side. You can kind of sort of see what I'm doing. I'm not going to get too meticulous about the whole thing. Okay. Oh man, that's good stuff. That's going to be some good pumpkin bread. So now they're going to go in the oven, and I'm going to bake them for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Oops. If there's any mess ups, do yourself a huge favor. And that's another thing, is when you do spraying, clean the outside of your container on the lips, because if during the heating process in the oven, that any overspray from the cooking spray is going to turn this brown, because it's baking, that oil is baking on the pan. So these pans have been very well loved and very well used, but they look fairly new because this is what I do 99% of every time I use them, that I cook cooking spray in. So I don't have that burnt on cooking oil spray in there. Okay. So there those are. I'm going to put them in the oven. I'll bring you back when we come to do the taste test. So I'll see you in about 1 hour and 10 minutes. Okay, we are back. This pumpkin bread smells so good. I went ahead and released it from the pan. Okay, it's still kind of warm. Ouch. A little too warm, a little too warm. See where I released it from the pan? Let me get out of that glare. Anyway. Ooh, warm, warm, warm. Okay, so definitely is warm. You're supposed to wait and let it cool before you slice it, but I want to do the taste test because it's time, way past my bedtime, and I want to go to bed. And I still got my dishes to finish up. So let's just do a quick little slice so we can do the taste test. Oh man, this looks so good. Let me bring this up to you. Of course, any kind of dessert always smells really good. See that? Look at that. And if you really want to cheat, put some butter on it. Let it be all nice and melted. But I'm not going to, because it's late and I just want to take a bite. And then I'm going to take the rest of this for tomorrow. Definite or 2 thumbs up. And I would definitely make this again. Or the next time I will make mine with nuts. I'll make my hubby's with raisins. So that way he can have his own. But this is way too much for us because we're on a weight program. But like I said, I started originally, this is for a dessert for after dinner with some guests for tomorrow night. That is good, good, good. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.